Circle at center 4, 3, and makes a chord of 4 units with the y-axis. Find the equation of C. Now lads, these are actually much easier than you'll ever think. They're just, if you just do the drawing, it should come out every time. So you just make your chord, right? Now this chord is worth 4, right? This, I'll put it in red. This red line here is worth 4. Yeah? Center of the circle is what, guys? 5, 3. Now, the truth is the perpendicular line from here to here, it has to be, has to go straight across. And when it hits the y-axis, what is that point?
Sorry, 0, 5.
0, 3. It's 3 above the x-axis. Has to stay at 3 above the x-axis. Now, what you've now discovered is this is a length of 5.
Yes, that's what I was.
Okay? The red line is a length of 4. When you half that, you get 2.
Oh.
Now, all of a sudden, you can draw a green line, which is the hypotenuse of that triangle. Call it R, such that R squared equals 2 squared plus 5 squared. R squared equals the square root of 20. R equals 29. Sorry, and then do 29. R equals the square root of 29. Now all of a sudden you have your center, which is your HK. You have your radius of root 29. You put down your equation of a circle formula. And then what you're going to get is this: x minus 5 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 29. That's it. Okay. Let's try something else here. Number 17, is it? 17. Now, a circle of radius length 5 units has a center in the first quadrant. It touches the x-axis and intercepts a chord of length 6 units on the y-axis. Find the equation of the circle. So, what I'm going to do first and foremost is draw the x-y axis, okay? And I'm going to draw exactly what I'm looking at here. So I'm looking at here is my circle is here. It touches the x-axis, but then it has a chord with the y-axis. So I'm just going to shift it across like this. And then once that's done, I'm then going to concentrate on what I know. I know that this region here is worth what? 6, okay? This here is worth 6. And I know that it has to be in the first quadrant, so I'm going to just call it XY because I haven't got a clue what it is yet. I'm going to complete the triangle because I still have the last question fresh in my mind. Okay? And now I'm going to try and figure out what it is going on here, okay? Now it says, it gives me sorry? The radius is 5. Thank you. And now I think we're going to be in business now because we now know that this here is going to be worth 3. And now what we can do is call this, it's not the radius, but it's, what's that word? It will be, it's technically the x value, okay? Let's just call it m because I don't really know what to do with this yet. So 5 squared equals 3 squared plus m squared. You're already on about 8 out of 15 now, without even doing much, alright? So 25 minus 9 equals m squared, m equals 4. So what you found out is that this distance here is 4. You've already used up you've exhausted your information of 6. Now, the only information I haven't touched yet is touches the x-axis, right? Now, there is something there. I'll tell you what it is. If I draw this directly down, what's the y value turn into?
0.
It turns into x0 because it goes directly down. Oh, just sick, right? Right. So now what we know is that the radius is 5. Okay, so we know that the y value has to be 5 because see the way the radius is 5, and you drop down y, and now y turned to 0. That means you drop down 5. So that means that had to be 5 in the first place. And as you guys said, you're 4 units away from the y-axis going left to right, so that makes that a 4. And there you go, your centre is 4, 5. Let's check out the numbers. When you drop 5 down, you go to 4, 0. You go 4 across, and when you go 4 across, you hit the y-axis. You know the radius is 5. When you do Pythagoras' theorem, you find out that's 3. You double the 3 to get your 6 units for your chord. Everything matches up. Okay? Now, the equation of the circle is this here, right down its centre. Well, G is going to be 2, F is going to be -1, therefore the centre is -G minus F, which is -2, 1. Thank you, I'll have those marks. Now, the midpoint of the chord of length 4 root 2 is 1, 4. Find the distance from the centre of the circle to the chord. Okay. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna draw once again. I'm lost without my diagram. Now, is midpoint of a chord of length 4 root 2 is 1, 4. It doesn't state that that's an x-axis chord or a y-axis chord. It could be any generic chord, couldn't it? Okay, yeah, grand. So I'm just going to build it here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a generic chord somewhere random up here. And what the lads are telling me is right. They're talking about the distance for it, -2, 1 here, and then we have these 2 points here, and we know that the midpoint is 1, 4, which is going to be here. You happy with that? I can do the distance formula to find out this length here.
So that's looking for.
And then, alright, right. So, I was taking to the next question as well. 2 steps ahead, lads. Now, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Call that x2, y2. Call this one x1, y1. Our d value is going to be x2 minus x1, which is 1 minus minus 2. And then y2 minus y1, 1 minus 4 minus 1, right? 3 squared plus 3 squared, root 18. Root 18 is otherwise known as 9 root 2. Okay? Now, take all this stuff away from it, just deal with the diagram itself. This diagram is in the wrong position, by the way, but the structures as a 3 root 2, not 9 root 2, 3 root 2. Sorry, 3 root 2. Now, here's what's going to happen. That's 3 root 2. Half of 4 root 2. 4 root 2 is from here all the way down to here, the length of the full chord. However, we're going to half that to get 2 root 2. And then to find the radius, we're going to find r here. R is the hypotenuse, so r squared equals 2 root 2 squared plus 3 root 2 squared. What does that come to, guys? I think it's going to be 18 plus 8 root 26. Is that right? Anybody on that?
How can you know that that's what I understand?
It has to be, because it says it's the centre of the chord. Anytime you get the midpoint of a chord and go perpendicular, draw a perpendicular line to that chord, it has to pass through the centre of the circle. Has to. It's root 26?
Yeah.
And what is root 26 in the calculator? It's still root 26?
Yeah.
Okay. Now guys, next thing. We got to find out our this value here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put into the h minus k formula. Our x minus h plus y minus k equals r squared. R squared is 26. This is going to be x minus, that's h, that's k. So x plus 2, y minus 1, right? Yeah. Squared, multiplied out, x squared plus y squared plus 4x minus 2y. 2 squared is 4, 1 squared is 1, that's 5. Bring over your 26. 5 minus 26 is minus 21. When you match it up, your k value has to be minus 21.